All right. So then the next segment was actually the most surprising and most entertaining in my book. Wheeler Yuta walks out.
Yeah.
And Yuta says, this is supposed to be MJF's time, but he's a piece of shit. He shouldn't have touched Tony Schiavone. But the thing that I like the most, and this is where it almost showed that MJF wasn't watching the show, is Yuta comes out and he's like, what is he going to say? Oh, that the Phillies haven't made the playoffs in 11 years. Oh, I bet he's going to say all this stuff. Just MJF come out here. And so then MJF walks out wearing a Mets jersey, getting the, cheap hometown heat, but mentions, and your Phillies haven't been in the playoffs in 11 years. And you hear Yuta say, see, he said it. He said it. And that honestly made MJF, in my book, seem a little amateur. It almost seemed like I have my bullet points and here's what I'm going to go out and say. And MJF is obviously top tier promo of all time. However, you got to adapt. And if you're watching the guy out in the ring say, oh, I bet he says the Phillies, when you say it, you kind of look like an idiot. So I thought Yuta, he didn't say any one-liner that's going to make a t-shirt or any, monumental statement, anything like that. But I felt like he kind of held his own with MJF.
He did. No, he did. And I liked it a lot. And it 2 times now out of the first, 2-3 segments that we got here, we're getting back to this, what we're calling the new era of AEW, but kind of the initial era of AEW where we're getting a spotlight on people you don't really know all that well, right? Mm-hmm. It's new and upcoming talent that are getting a shot on this grand stage to kind of cut their teeth, and we're seeing the results here. Wheeler Yuta now has had a handful of long promo time, and each one has gotten better. The Daniel Garcia stuff has impressed me every single time. There's more of this later, throughout the show. The Acclaimed is now over the top because of things like this. This is what I'm happy to see, and this is what's really bringing me some joy, right? Seeing this kind of back in the AEW limelight here.
And I think MJF to interact with the initial talent or, the second wave of AEW stars is amazing because if you recall, go back to that Cincinnati show where MJF and Brian Pillman Jr. had their altercation. Brian Pillman Jr. for a moment in time was one of hey, I want this guy to be a top babyface. Then we kind of saw him wrestle and heard him talk and we're like, yeah, maybe not. But MJF can do that for someone. And I think Yuta has proved we do want to see him in that spot. He has had moments, his match with Jon Moxley and his matches with Daniel Garcia and Ring of Honor and all those things, that I think he could be that person. And MJF to get him there, I think would be fantastic. So MJF does give him a compliment, says that they've wrestled in the independents and Yuta is one of the best wrestlers in the world. Yuta's tired of this, so let's fight. Before he can actually, punch him in the mouth, the ass boys come out and then Yuta stops because it's 3-on-1. A boss move, though, from MJF, where he's like, you know what? You don't deserve my catchphrase. Hey, tell him my catchphrase. And he just leaves. Yeah. He doesn't even stand back to watch. He legitimately is off TV, off camera. Mm-hmm. And the ass boys do it. And they say the line. And that's the segment.
Yeah, the fucking limo driver's waiting. I'm out of here.
Well, because you've seen that in the past, WWE is what I'm referencing here, where someone's like, hey, say that thing. But they're watching that person say it.
Pose. Right.
Yeah. MJF was like, I'm out of here. Legitimately, I don't want to be on the stage anymore. I thought that was really interesting. So then also next week is going to be a big show. It's the anniversary show. It looks like it's going to be MJF versus Wheeler Yuta on Dynamite.
4 years.
It started 2019. So what is that? 21, 3. No, 4. It's 4. I think it's 4. I think it started 2018. We don't fact check.
I think it's something like that.
It's under 5. But it's going to be MJF versus Wheeler Yuta for Dynamite next week.